But Gena Rowlands has such a presence in this movie and such like this
at all times
mask, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, you can see she's being nice to you on the outside, but on the inside, she's not feeling that way at all. But she's like that Southern kind of, you're polite, but you're sharp.
You're full bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta love it. We gotta love the South for that.
Bless their hearts.
Oh, bless her heart. Oh my God.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
and best friends Terry Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and subgenres,
classic and cult,
international
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up horror movie survival guide tips to help you
stay alive.
Howdy, Disco Citizens. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide. I am Julia.
And I'm Terry.
And this week we are talking about 2005's The Skeleton Key. Title of this episode is I Don't Believe. Tagline for this movie is It Can Open Any Door. So this was written by Aaron Kruger, who also wrote things like Scream 3 and The Ring and just did Maverick and F1 and directed.
Sorry.
I know, right?
What a trajectory.
Well, you know, from Scream 3, you got places to go. So then it was also directed by Ian Softly, who I know and love because he directed Backbeat about Stuart Sutcliffe, the original bassist for the Beatles.
Oh, you love that.
I do. So I'm very happy. And he also directed Hackers.
Holy crap. We love Hackers.
We do.
Did a really great screening recently at Vidiots. See your little shirt, Julia. I see that. That was a packed house of goodness, and Matthew Lillard was there, and it was hilarious and wonderful. And honestly, that's one of those movies that, like, even though it's like about future technology or about current to future technology, still actually very holds up, I think, in a really fun way, because people are still trying to hack the planet.
Yeah, hack the planet, and they're so fashion forward, that movie.
Yeah,
but
would wear everything in it.
Yeah.
Like that has all come back now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's meet Caroline, played by Kate Hudson, who and I had, by the way, had seen this movie when it came out and very much enjoyed it. Terry has never seen it, just watched it for this, so I'm very excited to hear their thoughts on it.
Yeah.
So we meet Kate Hudson, who she hits and misses for me. I feel like her first three performances is like 200 Cigarettes, Almost Famous, and this movie I'm like on board.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Oh, I love her. I love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's like
I can't.
Probably one of my. I saw that in the theater. I like literally have it. One of my other besties, my friend Christine. What's up, Christine Show? Shout out to you. She and I text about it like on a very regular basis to this day.
Wow.
Because she was her. Like she was that person. Like before she got married.
Okay.
Just an atrocious girlfriend, but a wonderful human. And so yeah, I love like this Kate Hudson. But yeah, I could see that for you, Julia.
So Caroline is a hospice nurse, and she is reading Treasure Island to her patient, and he dies while she's reading to him. And the carelessness through which he is disposed of hackles, raised by her. She doesn't like it.
Yeah, it's really giving me amusement park. Do you know what I mean? Though, and that vibe of like, okay, when this is what happens, I'm really concerned also for like, you know, the state of the situation for elder care, you know, constantly. And this is one of those things where it's like, okay, well, no family comes to pick up his affects after he's passed away. They have just all his things are put into a tiny little box, basically, that were left in the room. And no one comes for them. She goes to open, you know, the bin to throw away the boxes as she's instructed to, but sees a bunch of other boxes in the bin. So it's like, this is what happens. You turn the bed, you get rid of the person, and you maybe wait a little bit to see if someone's going to pick their stuff up. But mostly, this is where people get dumped.
So she decides to keep his keychain, his Live Fast, Die Young keychain, and she decides to keep his stuff. So this movie is set in New Orleans, and I think is a cool one that shows enough of that area to be. I think it's not. I can't think of a lot of horror movies.
I was like, Angel Heart is what I like went to.
Angel Heart,
like, yeah.
Interview with the Vampire. I mean, you could go on, but I feel like they don't get there because it's such a task to film in a big city.
It's a lot to film there, but also just like. I feel like it's so ripe for more because there's so much lore already there, so many ghost stories, the way the swamp moves and the water affects life there, I think is very specific. And so you get that she's, you know, looking for something else, anything. So she's going through one ads and she finds this ad for caretaker wanted. And so she decides to apply for this job, but it's an hour at least outside of the city. She has to drive through literal swamplands to get out there. Her best friend Jill is a little dubious of like, she's like, girl, why you got to go to the middle of nowhere. You could get a job here or just stay doing what you're doing while you figure your stuff out. But our Caroline is very committed to change. She's Caroline or change.
She's a very, very interesting character because, like, in some ways, I admire her curiosity and tenacity and straightforwardness. And like, I'm just going to figure it out. I'm just going to ask you.
Yeah. Don't you remember being 25?
But it's also
because she's supposed to be 25 in this movie, and like she's in her quarter life crisis.
Sure, but she's also like. So there are times in the movie you're like, girl, what are you doing? Like doing really stupid stuff, but actually serves it at the end of the movie. You're like, oh, well, that all makes sense. Like you just
that's 25, baby, where it just works out, and you're like, oh wow, I just fumbled into this. I feel like that is part of that point in your life.
Yeah, she says she'll get the hours she needs for nursing school, and so she goes out there. It's a gorgeous place, this big plantation-looking place. And lets herself in.
Which made me also be like, it's an old plantation. I was like, that's never a good sign. There's probably old dead ghost of lynching people. And probably not too far off, as we soon are going to find out. But she goes up to this house, and the house already seems haunted because the rocking chairs are rocking on the front porch without anybody in them. But that could just be the wind, you know, out there. But there's like little things, like there's motion all around this home. That everything seems to be moving around it, even if there's not a soul out there besides. No, she actually can't find anybody right at first. She's yelling as she gets to the house, like knocking on the door. No one answers.
Lets herself in, and then she meets Luke, who is played by Peter Sarsgaard. This is the first movie I ever saw Peter Sarsgaard in. Oh. And I was like, oh, he's so cute with his little southern accent. And like, it's not, you know, it's
a good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I buy him as the, like, you know, he's got those like lazy, slow eyes.
Oh, you love a Skarsgård. Just let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You love all of them. We love the brother Skarsgård. And he's playing this guy, Luke Marshall, who's basically like the executor of the estate, helping Violet Devereaux. Of course, her name is Violet Devereaux. That's the most like Blanche Dubois or whatever kind of like, you know, name. And
I love when they meet and she says nothing. She walks away from her. She doesn't even like. And I'm like, oh, okay. This movie is so fun to watch. When you know what's happening, because there's so many lines that are just kind of throwaway lines that become this kind of like he says to her like, oh, you want a southern accent, which could just be talking about, you know, but we know what it really means is like, oh yeah, you're picking your next self who you want, and she's like, not her.
She doesn't really approve of her right away, and so she
they said the last girl left and she's the fifth to interview, so that also shows you.
Yeah, it's not good. Either the job is too hard or the boss is too exacting, if you will, for this position. And so, you know, we see Ben as well. This is played by John Hurt. And this is Violet.
We just talked about him last week for Only Lovers Left Alive. So we get double John Hurt.
Love him. And so he has had a stroke, and apparently it's been on both sides, which I feel like is not as common. Usually it's one side or the other first, but he had both like on the same time when he went up to some attic in the house. So it feels like something wrong from the beginning happened up there, but we're not quite sure what it was. So
and shout out to Ben John Hurt, if I will, because he has this where he has like 3 lines, right? Like so much of it is you're just using your eyes. That's all. That's a challenge for an actor.
But he's also that actor. Like no I was problem. Like, he's challenge. Like, no problem. He was probably like, pay me the money to act with my eyes for a few hours and like let me sit there.
He said, "It's like I got to work with Gena Rowlands and I got to be in New Orleans for a couple of months, and I was like, sweet. I got to lay in bed all day. Great.
Yeah, like my character doesn't have to stand up. I don't have to do anything. Okay, great. Like he's literally laying around. I love those kind of jobs. I support it. Give me less lines, a good amount of camera time, and I'm happy. So he's there, and Caroline is not happy about the situation either. She's not feeling it, but Luke talks to her and he's like, Violet may seem tough, but she's literally just she's losing the love of her life. Like he's in hospice. Like this is a lot for her. So you got to understand where she's coming from. And so Caroline hears that and it's like, challenge accepted, because we find out she's also experienced a lot of loss in her life.
Yes, she lost her dad. We will learn this later. We have her and her dad picture. And we're like, okay, that will come out later. So she does stop at a creepy gas station on her way to live at Terrebonne Parish, where she's going to be, where they're playing a strange record.
Yep.
And she is startled by a blind woman in the doorway,
holding a crying baby. Mm-hmm. And there's like alligator just skulls and things like that. There's all kinds of strange stuff. Like it looks like a hoodoo voodoo house, like it's like she stumbled into, but it's a gas station. So it's a very, I was like, oh, she's in the deep. She's in like the rural, part of the South here.
I think whenever they stop at a gas station in a horror movie, you're like, nope, not that one.
Every time, a very cabin in the woods, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, a crazy Ralph is about to come out and tell me something, and we're gonna get kind of one who's just shucking like oysters and like giving her the it's like $17. She's like, it's 20. Here's $20. Bye. She's hightails it out of there.
Yeah.
Keep the change, dude.
Yeah.
And her friend, I love her friend, also gives her like a hard time. She's like, her friend doesn't really trust her like old people, I guess. It reminds me a little bit of Say Anything.
Yeah.
Where,
ageism.
Yeah, she's like, maybe they don't know how to use their mouths, or whatever. And so it's very, very that. But she's like, no knitting, no bridge club, no bingo. Like, don't do any of that old people stuff while you're out there. And so it's just kind of a forewarning too of like, hey, don't fall in too hard with these people.
Yeah.
Basically, don't give too much of yourself, even though we know Caroline, I think, tends to give too much of herself to her patients.
But I think it's interesting that the two times we see her and Jill talking, they're at really loud clubs where there's bars and there's music. So like they're giving you like, she's a party girl in a big city. That's who she is. But she's being this, and she's like, this isn't who you is. Why isn't who you is?
It ain't who she is. You right, Julia.
So she when she moves in, she notices that all the mirrors in the house are missing. And we have Violet, who is, she means like, why is there no mirrors? She's like, oh, because I'm old. I don't want to look at myself. And you're like, okay. She also says she's not supposed to do any housework and gives her a hard time because she's like, I bet you're all written on tattoos. I know you, which at first seems just like old person, whatever. And then you're like, oh, well, that's your body, man. I don't want it on me.
Yeah. So she's checking her out. And I love that kind of, I don't know, that vibe of just like, her disdain for her.
Yeah.
She's trying to make it work. So she gives her the rundown basically of how to care for Ben. 9 a.m. he's got to have his remedies, and at 7 p.m. And so it's not pills that like she has this like, it's like this liquid that's like this cloudy liquid that she gives to him. So it's basically easier for him to consume is what it's said. But
can I ask a question about that though?
Yeah.
As a hospice nurse, wouldn't you want to know what the medication is? Like
Absolutely.
she asks and she lets it go.
Yeah.
But I'm like, isn't that part of your job to
Yes.
be doing the medication?
You would read it, and you would read the side of the bottles and how the applications are, just
How they interact.
Just in case anything happens, obviously, to the other person in the home as well, too, because you need to be able to continue caretaking for this person if there's an emergency. So yeah, that is something we get to. Suspension of disbelief.
That's okay.
We're watching a movie.
That's cool.
And so he has to be bathed daily. His linen's changed. And so we find out a little bit more now, too, about the people who were in the house before and how when they moved to Savannah, and we find out a little moment where Violet and Caroline chat about it.
Yeah, so they said that she got the house from the original owner's children in 1962, and they still have the picture of them in the house. And Caroline's like, that's a little strange. She's like, respect to the house. So she goes to pick it up, and when she does, a hidden picture pulls out the back, and it is the kids and the two servants, black servants behind them.
Yeah. And so there's, paying respects to the memories of the home, but I don't know what that means because it feels like there's more than meets the eye, of course.
But luckily, Caroline is an orphan, so that's going to work out nice.
I'm sure there's nothing to do. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the story, right?
No.
The fact that her mom has passed away and her dad also has passed away, and she's all alone, if you will, in the world. Very, very thoroughly modern Millie of them. And so we find out there's more than 30 rooms in this house, and there's a skeleton key that opens every room. And so she's gifted she's given a key. So Violet has a key, and now Caroline has a key.
So Violet sends Caroline up into the attic to find some seeds that she needs for her garden. And she finds a hidden room, but that the key won't work in. And so now she's so curious and straightforward. So this is what I mean. Like there's part of me that's like, yeah, go see what it is. And there's another part of me that's like, you are so stupid. But it's okay because the character works both ways. It's okay as if she's a stupid white girl because she is a stupid white girl, and that's kind of the whole point, right?
If she goes and asks her, like, what's in the room? And then she's like, oh, well, I think she also can play innocent in that way, too, of like, oh, I found this other spot. Like, oh, my goodness, how wild. I didn't know. Like, I thought there's 3 rooms. I've just been checking it out. You gave me the key to explore, right?
She's using her pretty privilege and, like, cute stuff, but also... like, it's okay if you're an idiot because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter in this movie.
But I love their talk about the gardens and stuff like that because you can tell Violet still has some sort of, north-south disdain as well, too. Because,
Always.
Yeah, always. To this day, what is that? We're still fighting. Anyway, Yankee girl, get out of here. But she, is like, oh, I bet you don't have any gardens like I have down here. The gardens are beautiful here. And she's like, actually, Jersey is the garden state. Like, it's literally called that. I've been to Jersey. It's as well. It's gorgeous. Like, it's mostly like it is everywhere, where most of America is just fields and like trees and gardens and all kinds of stuff. So she asked her about religion as well too, and she's like, I'm not really religious, but I keep an open mind, is what Carolyn says, and that comes important later too. You're like,
it does.
Yeah.
So, and she straight out asked her about the door in the attic, and Violet just says, I don't know. It was locked when I got here. I've never been in that room. I don't know what's in there. And you're like, okay. We do get a shower
She
scene.
seemed a little too adamant about that though too. It's like, why wouldn't you go in there if it's your house?
But Gena Rowlands has such a presence in this movie, and such like this
at all times
mask, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, you can see she's being nice to you on the outside, but on the inside, she's not feeling that way at all. But she's like that Southern kind of, you're polite, but you're sharp.
You're full bitch.
Yeah.
We gotta love it. We gotta love the South for that.
Bless their hearts.
Bless her heart. Oh my God. Bury that.
So we do get a shower scene with some side boom, woohoo! And she hears a noise in the hallway, goes out to see it, and she can't find Ben. He's not in his room. And so when she realizes his door was locked, he couldn't have gone anywhere else, so he could have gone on the roof. So he is on the roof trying to pull himself, and the noise she heard was his feet on the tin.
Yeah, on the outside on the roof. But also we do get a little shadow because there's no mirrors in the house, but we have one little mirror because Violet said that she could have one. So she has this little tiny little folding mirror, and we do see a little shadow of like what looks like a ghost maybe in the mirror. So we as the audience are already getting clued in that there might be more spirits in this home than Caroline believes yet. And so she goes to find Ben, and he's crawling out there in the rain on the side of the roof. And she's like, where are you going? I thought you were like bedridden. I didn't think you could even move because you have a stroke on both sides of your body. Like, how are you even moving? But he says he's got to get the hell out of there, and he falls off the side of the roof. And so she
also finds his sheets, which he wrote "Help Me" in dirt, plant dirt on there, as well. And so Luke comes back and is like, she hides the sheets, but she trusts Luke, so she's going to show him the sheet. And then when she goes to get it, it's gone. So
it's clean. It looks like it's like a clean sheet has been replaced there. So Violet tells him that she needs to double Ben's remedies, make sure that he's staying extra, because obviously we can't have him hurting himself and doing something else like this. And like we said, the sheet is clean, and she's a little worried about that because now she's questioning herself. Like, did I actually see that, or is this like a thing that my mind made up? Because this house is doing some stuff to her. It's doing a number on her. I was like, oh, is this the house haunted? I can't tell if it's just the house or if it's the lady or like who's what. So she has to know more. She's got to go up to that attic, and she's going to go pick the lock on the secret door in the attic. Turns out there's a little something in there that has been obstructing it, because the skeleton key does actually work on this door. And she goes in there because it had been purposely jammed, it looks like.
So she finds the spooky room with a photo album of Papa Justify and Mama Cecile. She finds a 3-headed snake ring, a record of the Conjure of Sacrifice. So she sneaks the record out and finds all the mirrors, has a near miss with Violet, where she sneaks out of the attic and then goes over to Jill's place. I guess her place too, because she says they're roommates. So her place, and plays the record at her place. And when Jill comes in, she can see the look on her face, and she stops. She's like, just a local band.
Yeah, it ain't no local band.
No.
It's the weirdest sounding record. Not weird, but also just sounds like she's unearthed, which she has, an ancient, ceremony of some sort. And it's pretty intense. So it's Papa Justifies, Conjure of Sacrifice, and it is very chilling, talking about, dust and earth and dry dust and breaking free from the devil's house and like all this. And you're like, oh, honey, this is not a blues record.
No.
Because Ben has been listening to a lot of old blues records and stuff like that. This is not that. This is something absolutely different.
Yes, it definitely is. And so Jill, luckily, tells her what she thinks it is. So she says it sounds like hoodoo, not voodoo. Voodoo is a religion. Hoodoo is American folk magic, which is part African, part European, and part Native American that started in New Orleans. And it's all psychological, so it can't hurt you if you don't believe. She's just an aunt who believes, and she gets some stuff in the back of this laundromat.
Yep, that's the hoodoo shop in the back of this old laundromat.
I'd buy it.
Oh, absolutely. And I would absolutely want to go in there and see what the heck is going on, hands down. So Jill is like, I'm not going in. I brought you to the water, but I am not drinking with you. Like, it's basically what she does with Caroline. And so neither one of them go in at this time, but she at least knows where it is.
I did go on a deep dive last night about hoodoo, by the way. And I was like, let's read about this.
Let's get into it. You didn't After Sinners? Because I feel like everyone did After Sinners as well, too, because that's hoodoo that when we character is very into.
You were so right.
Yeah, and so I feel like there's been a lot more, like on YouTube's, there have been a lot more deep dives on what the traditions of it, and I think it's been more at the forefront because I think people are trying to put something on our, on the world right now, trying to set it free. So
So Caroline does put one of the mirrors back in the room. Violet freaks out and tells her no mirrors, and she tells
it's not just one mirror. She put a few mirrors up. She put a bunch of them up, actually.
So she tells Violet straight out, "I've seen the room, and you can tell me what's in it, or I leave." And she goes, okay. So she tells the big story of the party 90 years ago where this house was owned by a man named Thorpe who was mean and cheated the poor.
He was a banker, one of the worst of the worst.
Yep. But the servants were also a conjure man and conjure woman who healed the sick and hurt the mean.
So this is Mama Cecile and Papa Justify. So these are the names we've already seen on the record. And these are the servants, the photo that we saw earlier in the film as well, too, that was behind the little children that owned the home as well. So she says, that room was their room. And so there was a big party one night in that house. And during the party, the adults, are enjoying themselves, drinking, dancing, getting drunk, all the fine things you do at a beautiful party. But they wanted to say goodnight to the children, as you do. I feel like that's also one of those old timey things where you're like, oh, let's tell the children, maybe they'll sing us a song or give us a little song or dance. This is like back in the day before TV. This is, what you do, right? And I feel like that would happen. So they play a game of let's find the children because they cannot seem to find the children. Again, there's 30 rooms in this house, so I feel like it would be pretty easy to hide if you were a child in this house, right?
But they find them in the attic, sitting in the middle of clearly a ritual circle with a bunch of candles burning, and the Papa Justify and Mama Cecile are convulsing in some sort of trance near them. So these people immediately lynch them and burn them while the kids watch. And it's terrible. She's like, that's the story of the house, and the Thorpe shot himself, and the kids lived here, and you see him in the mirrors. So,
So no problem here.
Yeah, we're good,
no
right?
problem here. We're just dealing with those ghosts. And it's like, oh, sometimes maybe you don't want to know what is haunting the place, but also once you know that, I would probably leave. Like, I don't know, I would leave. And I probably wouldn't be out there anyway.
But she's going to.
There was no arrest. There was no trial. Yeah. Like, there was no repercussions for any of this, obviously. So that's also like the haunting thing of this place. And there was never any retribution outwardly that we could see.
Right.
And so we also find out that because of that, Thorpe was so tormented by this as well, and by the home and by the ghosts, that there was a murder-suicide. So he killed himself and his wife as well.
That's
so
the story.
So they say. So...
but they do put, she explains the brick dust around the house for protection. So Carolyn decides she's going to show Ben his face in the mirror while she's bathing him, and he freaks out.
In her little mirror that she has.
And so she is actually going to go, but she sees Ben and she's like, oh, I can't just leave him. He's so sad just sitting there. And so she decides to go to the hoodoo shop where she talks to the woman who owns it. And she's like, hey, what's the deal with the brick line? And she says, your enemies can't cross it. And she says, how much of a patient's recovery depends on their believing they can. If he believes he's been crossed, she will uncross him. And I'm like, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and so she, even though she is not a believer, she's like, you know what? She's like, it's placebo, basically. She's like, if I can get him to think that he's okay and that he's free, like, I will help him. So,
can I interject? I just found out looking through all this stuff last night. Yeah. There is the placebo effect. There's also the nocebo effect.
What's the nocebo?
The nocebo effect was you take something that isn't anything, but it makes you feel worse.
Oh, yeah.
So there's placebo makes you feel better.
I think there's absolutely correct. I've seen it where it's like, that's like even in like Season of the Witch where the lady thinks she's high, but she's not high. And she's like, oh, and she like loses it. you know. It can go so many different ways. So she goes, she finds help from that witch doctor and does the spell. She's got a candle, she's got herbs, she's got a bowl of water, she's got this whole, so it's a cleansing spell that she does. So she's cleansing the man, cleansing the room, cleansing the house to release his words for him.
And immediately works.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't even finish the spell and he already starts
He's
talking.
like, Caroline. He says her name, like kind of still, a little tongue-tied, but he asks for help and tells her to get me out of here.
Yeah. So he says, help me. And she's like, who are you afraid of? And he points at Violet.
The door, and it's Violet who's banging on the door now because she knows something is up. Because there's a spell being done in her house.
Yeah. So she has a bad nightmare, which is fun. We have a shot of her with her eyes and mouth sewn shut. Very creepy. She sees a doll
Man
up in the
a
attic.
box, baby.
Yeah.
Alex in chains. Someone sang that at karaoke last night. Sorry, just thinking about it. So she starts seeing things around the house too. She's seeing ghosts in her little mirror, and she's like, okay, well, oops. I'm now starting to believe.
Yeah. And who can I talk to about this? Luke. So she goes to talk to Luke, and she says she wants to talk to the last girl, and wants to know why she quit. So she goes to see this last girl, Haley,
the last nurse,
who told her, like, you realize that she's doing something to him, right? You can feel that, right? And you should leave now because
they're going to try to do something to you too.
Yeah.
And so she's like, they're, rich people are wild, basically is what she said. And she's like, you can tell it's bad. And so,
she is also a black girl though. And that is an important part of this is that, and now we have, let's do this thing. So Luke and Caroline randomly walk in, to the old lady at the gas station again.
Yeah.
And we'll ask, and she will tell her all about Papa Justify, while Peter Skarsgård stands awkwardly to the side and tries not to react.
And he's like trying to hold it together. But I also was like, well, she also had this lady at the gas station. Also, you notice there's a brick line at the gas station too.
Oh, and he doesn't go in.
And he doesn't go in right away. He stays over by the door. And I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, he's bad. Okay, cool. Because I was like, this is not great. And so, but Caroline gets the whole story about Papa Justify. And she's like, oh yeah, no, I have that record. She's like, wait, what? You do?
Yeah.
That's not great.
She said it's the most powerful record there is. You can steal someone's years that they have left. Like you can cheat death with that.
You can stay alive forever, basically. So, yeah.
So she takes the record back. She decides she's going to get Ben out. She tells Luke she's going to get Ben out. We go into Violet.
And he tells her, no, you can't just do that because he's doing the lawyer shtick. Is he really a lawyer? We're about to find out.
Well,
not really. But he basically is like, you need to get proof. You can't just take someone from them. You can't kidnap him essentially from his home. And so she's like, okay, well, fine. I'm going to get fucking proof. I'm going to do it. So she gets all final girl on us now. And then she's like getting her stuff together.
So she finds the record. She's going to take it back. Violet is hacking up a chicken quite brutally with a spell book, and
she's conjuring up in the kitchen. She is basically gonna poison the food or do something. Its time is coming up.
Yes. So I really like this scene where Caroline tries to she puts a brick line in front of her door and tries to get her to step over it, and them talking around each other because they both know what the other one's doing and trying to be, oh, just come in here. Can't you come in here? Well, come in here.
Trying to be nonchalant about it, but it's a tete-a-tete right now. Mm-hmm. And so Violet doesn't seem to be able to cross the line, but also maybe she could, who knows, but it's a lot going on. And so they have a dinner where neither one of them is really eating. Caroline is not going to eat the food because she knows it's probably fucked up. And so
I do like her injecting the sedative into all the sugar cubes. Like she's really thought about it.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't want any sugar for her tea. She's like, you always have sugar in your tea. And then Violet keeps being like, where's your gumbo? Eat your gumbo. You haven't touched your gumbo. I'm like, you both know.
You both know. You're both too smart for this, chick. And so basically, yeah, Violet's like, I am not a summer child. Basically, she's like, I am not senile. I understand. She's like, you are doing spells on my husband, and now you want me to eat this and just this? Like, So the power goes out, of course, through a series of events, and she's like, oh, fiddlesticks. We're going to have to eat by candlelight. So now you're feeling like, oh no, she's trying to make the circle or something's going to happen. Because she's got to go grab candles now, which is always spooky. And she talks about like spirits versus the ghost and the storm and, how to, and spells about the house. And so it is getting intense because she's going to knock her out anyway.
Yeah, Caroline dumps a whole bunch of whatever that sedative is into her sweet tea, and she just has to take one sip and she goes down. And I know that this is a stunt person. It's not Gena Rowlands doing it, but like her hitting her head on the table as she goes down, like, ugh.
It's pretty intense. You've seen this elder states lady and the wonderful Gena Rowlands, who's just one of the best actresses of all time.
Just having them as a married couple, Gena Rowlands and John Hurt, like I would want to if you rewind 50 years and like I would like to see the whole thing.
That whole correct.
It's
just incredible humans, incredible actors.
So Caroline finds the sheet the help me sheet, and she decides to get Ben out. So she gets him into her little VW bug, but the gate is locked.
But she finds more than just the sheet in that little the record. She has the record, but she also finds a snippet of her own hair.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, they have been trying to do something on me. Mm-hmm. Confirmation. So this is all the confirmation she needs that she's going to show to Luke. So she loads it all up in her cute little VW. Yes.
A little, and it does not have the power to crunch these gates, and so she ends up spinning out in the mud, crashing the car, taking Ben into the shed and putting him under a tarp while saying, "I'm not going to leave you." And you're like, ooh.
It's not looking good, especially as a storm is rising. And this is the kind of place, because it's New Orleans, all that kind of stuff too, that's swampy and it's going to flood.
Yeah.
Like you can see like the mud is already like caked around the outside of the place. I mean, earlier we had a scene where like Peter Sarsgaard like comes in and like had to like, he scrapes the mud off his shoes. So it's like, you can tell this is that kind of stuff that just really sticks to you and is probably hard to move through. So
Violet's got a gun.
Violet does got a gun. But first, Caroline's got to paddle through the freaking swamp. She gets in the little boat that we've seen earlier, the little Chekhov's boat. So she takes the boat down the swamp and makes her way to Marshall's anyway.
Which is great because like this is just compacted this way. Like we can see her in the boat, and then she sees lights are in the, and then all of a sudden she's in a car getting out to go to Luke. So they just kind of we'll just get past that.
We don't need to see that whole journey because we're in they probably edited the crap out of that. And so like for beginners. Like you're like, oh, you're not a real lawyer. You've been playing one on TV for me. And so she also finds a dossier on his desk, and it's pictures of her like from a private investigator. They've been scoping her out. She was chosen.
Yep.
Yeah, so he comes right behind her and goes to strangle her as she's figuring all of this out. So it's like, oh no, she knows she's gone to the wrong house for protection.
Yes, so he knocks her out and brings her back to the house, and she's able to get into one of the rooms with the brick line and go out the window. And so I like that she finally tells Violet where Ben is. She goes to get him, and I love that Ben has a weapon in his hand. Like he's like, all right, I got it. Like I do what I can't really move, but like he's got it. He's not just going to lay there. Like he's going to fight.
No, he's ready. He has those shears like ready to go. And so, but unfortunately he doesn't have the strength because he has been drugged for so long that he's not able to really attack her back. But I do love that he's ready to fight too. I think it's really admirable. And so we get another Caroline, like, breaking through her restraints and busting out of there and, cutting her restraints on glass and all this kind of stuff. And so this is the moment where our sweet Violet, this is the reason why you're going to get our gore rating later, why we get it, because this is the moment.
If you're ready for a Kate Hudson, Gena Rowlands girl fight, you're about to get one. And they're going to, like, both of them are fucking each other up, and it's pretty brutal. Violet does blow some sort of dust in her face, which is going to be some sort of hallucinogenic that's going to hinder her movements. But she pushes Violet over the railing and she falls down the stairs so bad and breaks both of her legs. And you're like,
it's like Misery, broken legs, right? It's like, because they're just, they're going the wrong way. They look bad. They are, they're disgusting. And so Caroline's going to try to, make an emergency phone call as you would. But she makes the call. But as soon as she makes the call, of course, the phone line is going to get cut because we're in a horror movie, because that's what you do in a horror movie.
Yeah, she does get to get a quick call into Jill as well.
Yeah.
But she's really starting to, like, her vision's really starting to get blurry right now. So
and she tells Jill it's all real. And that's when Jill is like, oh no. Because she had told her that she didn't believe before. She's like, as long as you don't believe this stuff, you're going to be okay. But you can tell that she's crossed the line now. And then the phone line is cut.
So she tries to do, she has the page from the book with the spell, it's the protection spell. So she does it to herself, but she uses hair, sulfur, chalk, blood. And so
she cuts her own hand
and fucking Violet pulls herself up all of those stairs up into the attic with no legs and is there to tell her, like, you just trapped yourself, man. Now you're in a protection circle, but you can't ever leave it. So
good
job.
She circled herself literally in. And so Caroline has done all the work for them because she has trapped herself and put herself in a cage of her own protection. And Violet tells her basically, you did what we wanted you to do. This is the end game. We've been waiting for you to believe.
All our little breadcrumbs.
You have done it. You have done the things we needed you to do. And Caroline is insisting that she doesn't believe. I don't believe. But you know it because she's seeing things. They finally have all the mirrors are up and surrounding her. And she starts seeing the ghosts of all the people that have been in this house before. Maybe all the people that have been through these bodies before.
So Violet pushes the big mirror towards her, and as it crashes on her, all the candles are blown out. And when she wakes up, walks on over to get herself one of those cigarettes
that she was not about, because we knew early on that our dear Caroline was not a smoker, but we know that Violet loves her some freaking little clovey cigarettes. Like a bad bitch.
Yeah. And the shots of her like lazily looking at herself in the mirror and like the new self. And she's like, I wanted a black one this time. She's like, black ones never stay. You're like, yep.
Too smart. They're like, too smart. They're like, you all are creepy as fuck. And I don't want to be in this house because I can see that you're doing the magic. But you also want someone who believes. And because they believe more quickly, they know to get the heck out of there more quickly as well.
Yeah. So
right?
This is a pretty perfect trap that they've done for this girl. So, they're pretty happy. They got everything all set. But poor Violet, is going to get her remedies and get taken out. And poor the shot of poor Ben and Violet looking at each other in the ambulance and like with the eyes, and they can't say anything.
Yeah, so it's Caroline and then whoever Luke was before. They're not who they were anymore, because now inside of them are Cecile and Justify living inside of these bodies. Yeah. And I love that she's like, they just don't believe like they used to, It's more of a trade than a sacrifice. They got to understand what it is, what they've done to us.
And of course, Luke tells Jill, who shows up, that she gets the house. So.
Oh, yeah. They loved her so much so that, you know what, your friend Caroline here, she's going to have this house now. And it's like, do you want this house? Nope.
Well, there we are.
But she's stuck with it now.
How do you survive? I feel like this is a pretty easy one to survive, right?
Yeah, you just leave. As soon as you feel the vibes are off. And realize that this lady is killing her husband, or it looks like she's killing him, right?
Yeah, agreed. So pretty easy to escape this one, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we got gore factor.
Yeah.
1 is not enough blood to fill the Dixie cup. 2, a puddle of blood. 3, enough blood to gross out the average viewer. 4, a bathtub of blood. And 5 is run for the barf bag. It is a 3.5, and it is mainly because of those broken legs. We do see Kate Hudson cut her hand and put some blood, but those legs are...
It's pretty gross. I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, not great. But beautiful, but not great. Yay, violence. Movie ratings. 1, if you're desperate. 2, barely qualifies as a horror film. 3, seen worse, seen better. 4, not too shabby. And 5, fantastic-oracle. This is a 4.5 for me. I really enjoyed it. Great performances. Gena freaking Rowlands. What a beast. John Hurt. It's just one of those things, again, where you're just like, girl, get out of the house. Like, do I have to yell at you to get out of the house? And do I have to be your best friend Jill and be like, just leave the house? Just leave the house. But we needed the movie, so we got the movie. But just leave the damn house.
This is a 5 for me. This is a movie that I really enjoy, and I have championed I feel like it doesn't get a lot of love. And I feel like it deserves more love than it gets.
Yeah.
But it is very clever. And I did, Terry and I have talked about, like, when I saw Get Out, I was like, oh, it's kind of a reverse Skeleton Key. And of course, Get Out has way more to say about what it's saying. But I think that this is an interesting way of, like, all of the horror tropes that you work against you, oh, this stupid white girl, is actually great because it's going to play right into. And so watching it the first time and then watching it the second time are 2 kind of different movies, which is really fun.
For sure. I need to watch it again then too. But also, oh my God, Kate Hudson, adorable. But also, girl, get the heck out of the house. Don't have to scream at you the whole time. But yeah, so she's gonna get freaking trapped. Yeah. That's what happens. What happens to you?
And I think the great thing about it too is, like, I'm on their side, really. Like, I'm on Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's side because they were wrong so hard. I'm like,
they absolutely did the right thing, taking over those little babies' bodies and just being like, sorry, we're getting out of here. Bye-bye. We figured it out.
Guess you just killed your children. Bye.
Yeah, it's and isn't that wild that, like, that's just what they did to their own kids? And that's the thing about America. You know what I mean, though? It's that thing of, like, if you think you're harming somebody just in the name of racism or whatever, it's like so many things, like why we don't have universal health care is because people are like, we don't want to give it to everybody. It's like, that's what it comes down to. And so it's like, it's a really, conversation starter, I think, for that too, of just like how much we're willing to harm ourselves and people around us in the name of not giving other people access. It's bananas. So much so that watch out for who's doing hoodoo around you.
I mean, I think it's
Right?
cool that it is a specific to America and specific to New Orleans to
Yeah.
have something like that. I think that's,
Oh yeah, that's our
America.
folk horror. It's American folk horror for sure, right? So we love that.
Tell us what you thought about The Skeleton Key. Have you seen this movie? Do you have another movie like it you would like to recommend to us? We are on all of the internets. We also have a Patreon if you would like to support us doing our thing, or Teespring if you want to
Get some
visually support us. Some buttons, some shirts, some mugs, all sorts of things. I am also on two other podcasts, Jodorowsky, all about Alejandro Jodorowsky and his films and comics, and also Stephen King's The Losers Club, where we talk about all things King.
So much.
much.
And we also have a really fun show that we do the last Thursday of every month that lives on the George A. Romero Foundation, the GARF network. And it is called Horror X, where we interview women and femmes in horror each month, talking with them about horror and about their careers and how they fell in love with it and all kinds of, we have delightful conversations on
It's
there. So I highly recommend checking that out. We have a whole back catalog of wonderful guests we've chatted to that lives on YouTube on the GARF network. What else, Julia? Anything? Be careful where you go.
Be careful. Be careful. Always be careful.
If you got the gut feeling's not feeling, if the vibes are off, basically,
Yeah.
hightail it out of there.
Always listen to your intuition. That's what I would say. No, because your body knows. If you meet somebody and your body goes, nope, that's a
That's
sign.
probably a good sign to get out of there. So trust yourselves is what we're saying, and not old creepy ladies that are sizing you up.
Good luck out there, folks. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marchesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.